37-year-old Ben Roethlisberger needing elbow surgery that will keep him out for the rest of this season. That means the Pittsburgh Steelers have lost Roethlisberger, Antonio Brown, and Le'Veon Bell in an instant. Oof. Bill, I want to know your thoughts on the Steelers in the near term, but first and foremost, is it over for Big Ben?
I feel like it's over, right? He's 38. Think
He
about
comes
how
back
many,
at 38.
Yeah, how many hits he's taking. We don't know what's wrong with the elbow. Like if it was a pitcher, I feel like we would think Tommy John, ulnar nerve, all these things. It's mysterious. I think he's going to leave a complicated legacy, though. I was thinking about this century's quarterbacks: Brady, Brees, Manning, Rivers, all these guys, Favre, these guys that became these characters, beloved. I don't feel like Roethlisberger was ever beloved. There were a lot of reasons for that we don't need to go into, but
I don't
never
think
a beloved QB,
but
right?
2 Super Bowl wins and a 3rd Super Bowl appearance. You talked about being hit. He's been hit, I think, the 3rd most sacks in history. I'm not ready to say he's done. That puts you in the same side as Deion Sanders, who out of nowhere last week said he's not going to make the end of the season.
You must have known something.
I don't know that you have an elbow injury, but I mean, my personal experience with Joe Theismann is such that he was really, really upset that he could never come back from that Lawrence Taylor hit. I don't think guys want to go out this way. Even if you come back and you feel, I can't play anymore, but you play a few games, to be put out by an injury and then old age. And I think it depends on Mason Rudolph. Like, let's say he's pretty
good. Think about
how
scary that is.
Well, let's say he's pretty good, and the Steelers are pretty good. Makes it easier to come back at 38. If the Steelers are terrible, maybe you don't want to come back.
Well, when you said my personal experience with Joe Theismann, I got excited for a second. I didn't know where that was going. Can I just read you the Steelers' decade?
Sure.
Because this is sad. Lost the Super Bowl in 2010. They've missed the playoffs 4 times. They lost playoff games to Blake Bortles, washed-up Peyton Manning, and Tim Tebow. They lost a playoff game to Tim Tebow. They've been owned by the Patriots. The Ryan Shazier thing happened. They lost Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown. And now Brown's on their arch rival. The decade's over, and now they're irrelevant without a quarterback.
Do you think that, but you don't think Ben Roethlisberger will come back?
I don't.
I do.
Okay.
I do.
We'll have to bet on this.
Wild card teams win the Super Bowl. The Giants did it twice. You just have to get in the tournament, and you get in the tournament if you win your division. Oh, yeah, right. With the Patriots, you don't like to hear that. So they're in a terrible division.
Yeah.
Carolina is no good. Tampa Bay is no good. Atlanta, despite what happened last night, is a pretty ordinary team.
Nobody has faith in Atlanta.
So there's a real chance here that if they just win 2 games, and I don't think Teddy Bridgewater was terrible last night.
He was bad.
But if they win 2 of the next 6, they're probably still alive in their division.
So you think it's like a 9-7, 8-7-1?
Sure, in that division, I think
something like that.
I think that's possible in that division. Yeah.
Here's what I didn't like the Saints heading into the season, and now I don't like them even more. But it just had the makings of like the year from hell. You know where that happens with a team where they have the terrible playoff loss. They talk about it all off season. They claim they're over it, but they're not. Then week 1,
they're
they have
reminded
a bad call.
constantly by bad calls.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a strip sack touchdown that
gets pulled back. So
yeah.
week 1 that happens, they get jobbed by a call. Week 2, same thing. And it just seems like they have a bad juju around. The other thing with Brees, you know, he's going to be 41 in January. And you look at the history of 41-year-old QBs.
It's pretty good history lately.
It's Brett
There's
Favre,
one guy who's
2009,
pretty good.
and Tom Brady. Yeah, that's it. But the thing is, Tom Brady's eternal. He's like Edward the Vampire. He's never retiring.
Brees has missed.
So Brees might be, that might be the end for him too.
Well, I don't know, because I think I read this earlier today, that in 15 seasons, he's missed only 15 games. That's Cal Ripken. You write him all the time with confidence that he's going to play in this game.
Well, what happened to Cal Ripken? All of a sudden, he was a 240 hitter, and you couldn't wait to get him up at a shortstop.
Ultimately, that's true.
This has to happen with this
There's no
position.
indication, though, with Brees. There's no indication that he is on that path right now.
But the thing is, though, if they miss the playoffs this year, now he's 41 next year. This felt like a last chance type of thing to me anyway.
No, I like last year, if I'm not mistaken, he led the league in completion percentage.
But last 6 games, he's kind of well, the 16-0 chatter has already started
Please don't
with
say
my
chatter.
beloved New England Patriots. It's their best all-around team since 2004, but the Antonio Brown saga has overshadowed it. There is a civil suit alleging sexual assault. There's a damaging SI story alleging various indiscretions. Tony, what were your thoughts watching Brown play yesterday?
So I want to use a word here, and I don't want it to be misconstrued because of all of the social commentary about Antonio Brown. I want to be careful with the word. as a football fan, I was excited to see him play, to see Brady go to him right away, to see him catch 4 passes, to see him get a touchdown pass. I had no idea if he could play. He didn't play in Oakland.
Right.
I had no idea about his feet. I had no idea about anything. So from a strict football sense, that was something for me to see. And I remember sitting here on Friday, and I said, I believe they should play him with this opportunity. They hired him to play him. They should do it because I felt then, and I feel sitting here today, that may be the only game he plays all year. I'm not. They're talking
That's
to the
it?
woman
A one
who
and
is,
out?
Well, they're talking to the woman who is his accuser today
Yep.
in the NFL, and with the SI story as well. There may be so much that they may say, just get this guy out of here.
Well, this is why it's tough to do these shows, right? Because we're supposed to have an angle on something where we don't know really a lot of the information, what happened, what didn't happen, things like that. I just know I thought they could have waited a week because they didn't know the whole story. The league didn't know the whole story.
I put that on the league.
They're gonna
I don't
win.
think the Patriots had to cancel him. I
No,
think
but
the league should have stepped
But it's
in.
not about canceling. Miami's the worst team in the league. They're going to beat Miami by 20 points whether he plays or not. And I don't understand why you're trotting him out there when you don't know what's coming this week. I thought that was a mistake. And, look, the Patriots, there's a million reasons that they've become, I think, America's sports heel, right? They become the wrestling villain. They become Ric Flair in the 80s, all that stuff.
And even
They don't
down
need
the
to
road,
give people reasons to root against
down
them.
the
And this
road,
was a
there is
reason.
the possibility that there will be an examination, and this will feel like tampering that he even got to that team.
Wow.
I mean, there's all of that. I mean, and he is. You can defend him in principle, and theoretically, it is extraordinarily hard to defend him personally.
They've had Troy Brown, they've had Julian Edelman, Wes Welker, Danny Amendola, and he's more talented than all those guys. So if this somehow works out, I get it. I just don't think it was worth the risk.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports, highlights, and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.